Just got done with weigh-ins here. You were almost the Dana White of the face-off. What was that like for you? What was that experience?
Should have shaved
like?
my head, you know. No, it's fun for me to be here. You know what I mean? Night like tonight makes me remember, and makes me remember how much I don't miss this. You know, like as a competitor, but as a promoter, sort of. You know, I really enjoy it, and I really enjoy it. You know, it's gonna be a great show, and I'm glad to be part of it. You know.
Did you feel like you almost had to get involved there for a second? It was getting a little fiery.
No, I felt the intensity, and then at one point I was like, okay, it's been already a few seconds. That's enough, guy. I tried to break it because none of these guys wanted to let go the look. You know, I understand it's kind of a thing. I'm not gonna let go. You know, you don't want to lose. You know, like so. It's kind of a staring contest competition. So I was like, okay, that's enough. You have to be the guy that breaks it. You know, I know it sounds stupid to most guys, but fighters understand what I'm talking about.
But George, what did you see in their eyes? Because Anderson, we've seen him focus and zone in before.
My coaches used to tell me when I do a stare down, take his soul. I think they were trying to take each other's, you know, like size each other, you know.
Did either one have the upper hand?
Nah, it's a mind game. It doesn't mean anything for me. When I remember when I used to do weigh-in, a lot of the times I used to laugh, or you know, I don't take these things too seriously. But some guys, for them, it's a way to get into their opponent's head. You know, they play a lot of mind games.
Was it cool being up there with Anderson? Because, you know, for a period of time, it was you and him as the faces of the UFC. And now to kind of have a moment up there with him.
Yeah, I saw him. I said in Portuguese to him. I said, boa sorte. Yeah, like, good luck. You know, like, I wish him the best of luck. And, yeah, he's 47. He's an incredible athlete. You know, it's like, who can do this and at 47 years old is just incredible.
Does that legitimately blow your mind, the fact that he's 47, he's still doing this at such a high level?
I was sad when I saw him, like, the way he finished his career in mixed martial art, but then I saw him, the way he rebounded against Chavez is just incredible. It was very inspiring, and one of the best performance of his entire career. Was incredible. And it wasn't boxing, it was not even in MMA. It was taking up a boxer, like an elite boxer, into boxing and
in Mexico.
In Mexico, and completely dominate him. It was an incredible performance.
Has he surprised you even with how sort of this post-UFC career has gone?
Oh, it's incredible. Now he's in the top of his game, and I wish him the best of luck. You know, like, he's 47. He told me backstage, he's like, George, I'm addicted to this. I can't stop, you know, and I understand it's hard to let go, you know.
George, are you surprised that he's not in the UFC Hall of Fame yet?
Oh, he will be 100%.
What do you think the holdup is? I mean, DC's already in the Hall of Fame, but Anderson should be in there as well.
Because maybe he's an active fighter. They wait for him to really calm down and not... You know, who knows, maybe, I don't know, if he does a few boxing fights and then Dana is like, hell, I want to pay you and to come back. In a hypothetical world, you never know what's going to happen. But maybe they want to wait a little bit, but he deserves. He's arguably the greatest fighter of all time, you know what I mean? He deserves a place in the Hall of Fame.
What do you make of this whole Jake Paul versus MMA circus that has sort of evolved over the last couple of years?
You know, the thing is that this whole thing started out as a joke for most of so-called experts, you know, and I'm no different. But then he beat Nate Robinson. Nobody really pay attention, you know. They pay attention, but they were like, they didn't see him as a real boxer. Then he beat Ben Askren. Then he stepped up his game, beat Woodley. Now he's fighting Anderson Silva. Like, that's crazy. He step up his game every single time. And love him, hate him. But there's one thing about Jake Paul is that you have to respect him. You know what I mean? He has a lot of courage. And he has the audacity that every time he's stepping up and he's challenging someone better. And he's living the American dream, you know? Like, for a lot of people, it's very inspiring. You know what I mean? Like, he's a guy that nobody give him the chance at first. It was like, it start off as a joke, you know, and now look at him now where he is. It's just incredible, an incredible journey, and it's not over. We'll see what's gonna happen tomorrow, but if he's successful, what's gonna be next? I think he's gonna maybe take on, you know, boxers now, real boxer in boxing, because MMA, it's a very different sport. It's boxing is very specialized, you know. There's a lot of things that you do in boxing that you would never do in MMA, and vice versa. So it's you know what I mean, it's gonna be interesting.
Is he biting off more than he can chew, though, this time? I mean, it is Anderson Silva, right?
That's why we thought every single time, and that's why you have to respect that from him. He's very courageous, very, very courageous. Win or lose, my hat is off to him. He's willing to take a risk, and I think that's why he has a big audience. Like he has an audience before, but in the fighting game, like, you know, he's starting to get like the real respect from real fighters because of that. You know, he's willing to risk it all, to put it on the line. A lot of guys talks. He's a big talker too, but he walk the walk. You know.
George, is there anything that you see when you watch Jake Paul fight in these past couple fights that you think can be exploited by the skill set of Anderson Silva?
Yeah, I think Anderson Silva is faster, better mobility. He's more fluid, more experience, of course. But Jake Paul has something that Anderson does not have. He has what my trainer used to call the touch of death. He can hit you with one shot, especially his curved right hand that comes from an angle from outside of his opponent's field of vision. And he's been very successful with it so far. And the way he throws it is very deceptive because he leans towards one side, so your opponent follows him, and he throws it while he's swinging his entire body and his weight transfer, and all the weight is transferred on his knuckle, and he has a lot of power with it. So he has a weapon that any given moment he can throw and end the fight. That's a very dangerous thing.
George, a couple of years ago, you were tied to a possible exhibition match with Oscar De La Hoya
Yes.
in boxing.
Yes.
And I know that you said a few minutes ago that you don't miss this, and to remind you that you don't miss it. But
Yes.
is there an opponent or a scenario that you think would be fun to come back and do?
You never say never, but my days of trying to prove that I'm the strongest man in the world is done. I have no longer the desire of doing so. I might compete because I'm in an entertainment business, in boxing or in grappling, something that is safer than MMA. Not MMA, something that is safer, that has less risk, because I have a lot more to lose, and it's not my priority anymore. And yeah, why not? You know what I mean? If it's well done and everything. But something like a boxing match with small, like, nah, I'm done with it. Being here tonight makes me remember how much I don't miss it. It's unbearable for me, like the stress and everything. Like unbearable. I never liked to fight. I fought because it propelled me to where I wanted to be in life, to have the freedom to be able to do whatever I want with whoever I want, whenever I want. That's why I did it. You know what I mean? You're never 100% free, but I'm way more free. I'm more free than most of the guys. You know what I mean? In a way.
So
what's life been like since you stepped out of the limelight?
Well, I'm busier now than I was when I was competing, so it's good. I do things that I really enjoy.
Sure.
Guys,
if I can get one more just quickly.
Yes.
You've long championed fighters' rights, and now we saw the bet with Jake Paul yesterday about that. If he loses, or if Anderson loses, he wants him to help make an MMA Fighters Association. And I wonder, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think that's something viable, and would that be something you want to be part of?
It will happen sooner or later. It happened in box. It happened in baseball, basketball, hockey, and every other football, every other sport. It will happen in MMA. It's just a question of time, and it needs to be done with the right people.
Would that be something you would want to be a part of if Anderson is there?
If the organization, you know, there's the organization of, I'm always gonna do things that are for the fighters, that are right for the fighters. You know, that's my thing. You know, if the organization is done, if it's done well, I'm willing to do anything to help the fighters. Yeah.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.